Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In the previous class, we have learned some of the basic concepts of React, isn't it? We have learned about the state, the components, as well as we have also understood how the create context works, didn't we? Did anyone of you remember, or you people have already forgotten whatever we have done? Kishan, are you there? Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Then why aren't any of you replying to me? I'm asking something. Karthik, I know you were there in the previous class. Can you
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
me? Why do we use the create context and why do we import it? You need to switch your mic on, Karthik. All right. If you people do not remember whatever we have done, or you people didn't apply it or implement it, that's not my loss. That's entirely your loss. Only. So in this class, we are going to learn what axios are. And in the previous class, that is when we were learning about the login using React, over there we have learned about that Axios, where what we were doing, we were fetching the data from the backend to the front end. Here, what I am going to do is inside the backend, I will be providing 2 to 3 datas, and that data I will be fetching in the front end using Axios. The same thing that we have done using login and register time. So here, what I am going to do is I will export const. So here I will write the name of the function, and my function name is going to be get users. And here this one is going to be an arrow function inside which I will be passing request and response as the parameters. So here it should be response, or you can write in any way, request and response. Beginning an arrow function. Here I will make an variable, and this variable will contain an array. And the name of the variable is going to be const users is equal to inside the array I am going to store some objects, and in those objects I'll be storing the data of the users. Say for example, I'm providing the ID as 1, and then the another data, let's provide the name, and the name is going to be, for example, Kristen. So I will make 3 to 4 columns for this. We'll copy it, followed by a comma. I will paste it. So the ID over here will be 2, and then the ID will be 3. Crystal, Daniel, Lucifer. That's it. So these are the data which I am storing inside my backend. And now, whenever the user is going to call this function, then the user will get the response. And in response, the user will get this data in a JSON format. For this, I will use .json, and then inside this, I will pass users. And since I have already mentioned the export keyword in the very beginning, that is why I do not have to explicitly write the export statement. I will save it. Now moving on to the router. So here inside the router, I will import the controller. So here at first I will import express from express, should be express. And then over here, I will import. I will mention the name inside the curly braces. Why? Because here I have made this function in this format where I have placed the export keyword in the very beginning of the function name. Which is why whenever I will import the function in some other file, I have to write the name of that function inside the curly braces. For that, I will write the name of the function, and here I will write .js. After importing it, I will use the export express.router. For that, I will create a variable using const router is equal to, here I will write express.router. After this, I will use the get method. For that, I will write router.get, and here I will pass the API endpoint as the first parameter, followed by the function name, that is get users. And then I will export this using export default and then router. And then I will save the route. After providing the route, I will move to my server.js. Over here, I will import all the routers that I have made, that is the user routes. So here I will again import express from express. After importing express, I will also import course, because this time I am going to integrate my front end with the back end, which is why the course has a huge role to play over here. And then I will also import user routes. It should be user routes. From here, I will write the name. That is from the routes. I'll be importing user routes.js. Here I will write const app is equal to express. And then after that, I will use app.use method. And here I will write course. And along with that, we also have to mention the port number. So for that, I will write const port is equal to 8000. And here I will also use app.use express.json. So we are using these middlewares of Express. After that, I will finally write app.use followed by the API endpoint, that is /API/users followed by user routes. And here I will finally write the listen method, app.listen. Here I will provide the port followed by the function in order to provide in which server is our port running. So for that, I will write console.log and then server running on HTTP localhost and then followed by the port number. It should be within template literal. Yeah, that's it. Then we will save this. So by now, we have created our entire backend. Now moving on to our front end. Inside the front end, I have made this API.js. Inside this, I will import Axios. For that, I will write import Axios from Axios. And then I will import const API. This is the variable where I will be writing Axios dot create. And using this create function, I will write the base URL. And now you might be thinking, what is the base URL? So base URL over here is the backend URL from where this Axios.create is going to get the data. So here I will write HTTP localhost, and this one is the 8000 followed by API. So this is the URL from where the Axios is going to fetch the data. And here finally, I will export const fetch users is equal to, and this function will take API dot get method. Inside the get method, it will take the value which are present in user. It should be lowercase. Let's save it. After this API.js, I am having another file that is userlist.js. Inside this, we are going to write the exact code in order to fetch the data. In the previous file that is api.js, we have mentioned from which backend URL this is going to fetch the data. Now we will be providing some functions and the HTML tags inside this user list. For that, I will import React followed by two hooks, that is the use effect hook and then use state hook from the React library. After importing them, I will also import fetch users from the API. After importing this, I will create a function, and the name of the function is going to be user list. So this one is the arrow function. And here I will create what? At least you can answer this question.
And we should have to create a state.
First, inside the array, what is the first element we should
Current
place?
value, current variable.
Ma'am, initial value.
Are you sure we have to provide the initial value?
Yes, ma'am.
ID, ma'am.
Current value, ma'am.
Then what should we place inside the use state parenthesis?
Ma'am, we have to pass two things.
Variable
We have to
and
pass
function.
a variable, then we
Variable
have to
and-
pass a function.
Variable and the functions.
Right, Kishan. So here I will write users as the variable and the function that set users. So I will provide an initial array, like an empty array inside the users variable. So for that, I will use state hook, and then I will place an empty array inside this. Like this empty array is assigned to the users variable, and inside this array, all the data that I have mentioned in my backend, that is user controller.js, will be stored inside this array. After that, I will write the use effect hook. Inside the use effect hook, I am going to create a function. Inside this function, I will write const get all users is equal to, here I will create an asynchronous function. And then I will write a try catch block. Inside the try block, I will write const response is equal to followed by an await statement, I will write the fetch users method. That where did I mention this? In the previous file, that is api.js. So using this method, I am going to fetch all the users using Axios. And then using the set users, I will provide the data. So for that, I will use response.data. So whichever data is fetched using the Axios will be provided by this set users function. And if any error occurs over here, then we will print the error. Console.error. It will be providing a message, error fetching users. And then it will provide the actual error where it is causing the entire problem. And then it will call the get users method. And then here we are going to pass an empty array so that this use effect can execute at least for once. And then we will provide a return method. Inside the return method, we will be providing the HTML tags. Starting by the div tag, we will place a header tag. Inside this header, we will provide users. After the header, we will showcase the users in the unordered list. So for that, I am providing UL tag. And here, I will write users.map. Using the map function, I can manipulate my data which is being fetched from the backend. So U is my variable in order to iterate through all the users. And here inside this, I will provide the list tag. And as a list, I will place a key attribute. And this key will say u.id. So this key is the key from the object. As we know that the object consists of a key value pair. So this key is the ID of the user, which we have provided in the backend, which means it will take ID as 1, ID as 2, ID as 3. And how is this entire array is going to iterate? This entire array is going to iterate with the help of this U alphabet. Understood? And then inside the list, it will provide the name. All right. So we have made the function, and then we will export the function by using export default user list. Let's save it. Now moving on to the app.jsx. And what is the last thing that we have to do inside the app.jsx? We have to render this user list. So for that, I will write import React from React. And then I will import user list. After that, I will create a function app. Inside the app, I will place a return method. Inside the return method, I will use the div tag. And here, I will provide the class. All right. Inside the div tag, I will provide a header tag. Inside the header, I will say Axios API implementation example. All right. After that, I will render this user list. And this is our self-closing tag. And here, finally, we are going to export it. Default app. That's it. And then we will save it. Now going inside the terminal, I will split it into two. Okay. So my first terminal, I will provide the front end. And for the second terminal, I will navigate to the back end. And here I will write npm run dev, and here for the backend, I will write node server.js. Okay. Okay, this is what was the port number? Port number was 8000, right?
8,000.
Let's see what is happening over here. We take the array, and then I have also written the users.
Ma'am, your API endpoint is wrong. Ma'am, /API/users.
Okay, it should, but it should work because we are getting from this API, we are getting the users, right? But
Yes,
in the backend, what did I provide? The users.
Ma'am, use for it. Add a method in place of map.
Just hold on for a while, let me check. Let's change it and see what is happening.
Ma'am, restart the server also.
Yeah, I'll do for sure. Just a second. It should be some minor mistake, I guess. Let's check in the backend if it's working. Yeah, we are getting the data in the backend. So that means there must be some issue in the front end only.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, can you open the file api.js? Ma'am, is dot create is okay?
Yeah, it is.
Ma'am, go to the app.js, ma'am. Ma'am, can you use like a route path like that, ma'am? Instead of
Yeah,
user
we can
list.
use that. All right, instead of using API, we can directly get.
Ma'am, do export default API only, ma'am. Export default API only.
And you have not created fetch API function.
Hold on. It's invalid. All right. Let's see.
Ma'am, try one time export default API.
Hold on for a while. The export default API was causing a lot of error.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Were you saying something?
ma'am, firstly, We add some console.log statement in a user route for the checking of triggering it or not.
Can you please repeat, Kishan?
Ma'am, firstly, can you add some console.log statement in the user route for the checking it is triggering out or not?
Like the backend is running perfectly well. I guess there is something issue in the front end with them.
Open user list dot CSS. Inside the map function, use curly braces or parentheses.
All right.
Ma'am, in place of map, you can use the for each method.
Yeah, we can use the for each.
User
All right, that was just the issue of the bracket. So now we are getting the data. Who was the one who was saying about the parenthesis? All right, Vishal, thank you. Right. So that wasn't an object, which is why we are not supposed to place a curly braces over there. And we place the curly braces in order to provide the data which is stored inside an object, right? So over here, we are not supposed to provide the curly braces. That was the mistake. Okay. So now are you people being able to get how does this Axios work? We have also done it in the previous class. Any error till here? Like any doubt till here?
No, no.
All right, then you people can leave the meeting.